Hi everyone, this is Dr. Hamidreza. Today I'm going to talk about the narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissistic personality disorder is a very complicated psychological disturbance, and the people who suffer from it all the time imagine themselves to be endowed with the supernatural power. By supernatural, I mean that they imagine themselves as a kind of people who are given the full superiority over others. They have the sense of entitlement in the sense that they maintain and they firmly believe that they are superior to others, and all the other people should be subordinate to them. To these people, the concept of power is of the highest significance. For this reason, they consider other people much lower than them, and they think that they should be put on the pedestal and every other person should admire them. So the sense of entitlement, a sense of grandiosity, and the jealousy is the, in fact, consequence, direct consequence of this disorder. These people are extremely sensitive to criticism, as they consider themselves as the superior power, as the one who should never be criticized. They are extremely sensitive. In fact, we can say that they are hypersensitive to any type of criticism because somehow it puts into question or interrogates the imaginary identity that they have constructed for themselves. Because, as I told you, these people imagine themselves as the kings or the princess who are the owner of the other people. In other words, they imagine themselves as the entity that can control others, and everyone else should respect them, admire them, adulate them, and adore them. On the other hand, these people have very low level of empathy, and in extreme cases, they do not have empathy, like psychopaths. So they can't feel the pain of others, and they are absolutely indifferent to suffrage of other people because they turn blind eyes to the pains of others. And of course, it can be anticipated from the people who imagine themselves uh, as the one who has the sole power, the whole control over others, to have such kind of orientation towards others. In addition, they are very exploitive in their approach. They consider other people as the prey that should be abused. For some of them, abusing people seems to be illegal and immoral, but in fact, they behave exactly as the abusers because somehow they try to exploit other people in their own interest, and that's why that they cause and inflict tremendous pains and harms on other people, and they act as a hindrances that can sabotage the life of the partners. These kinds of people are extremely indifferent to the needs, wants, and desires of the partners. And the question is that how these people communicate with others. How do they establish a kind of a friendly relationship, love relationship? What kind of capacities do these people possess that allows them to control others, get in touch with others, draw their attention, and let others be infatuated with them? The fact is that these people utilize some techniques that is called love bombing. And at first, they identify their praise and they identify their weaknesses. Then they go toward these victims and love bomb them. How do they do it? By too much appreciation, adulation, expressing deep love, expressing compassion. These people become extremely helpful to their victims. They support them wholeheartedly, and they try to support them in every possible details, and they come out of the blue to help the victims. That's why that the victim falls in love with them, And this is the beginning of the tragedy, because the victims become addicted to the toxic behaviors of the narcissist, and little by little, unconsciously, they fall in love with these people. Of course, it's a kind of addiction. They dedicate their energy to them. They devote their whole potential to the narcissist, because the narcissist is the one who provides them with the narcotics. This narcotic is the adulation of the narcissist. Little do these people know that they have fallen victim, and they are considered as objects, not as a whole people. Narcissists consider people functionally. They consider them as object. First of all, they take a snapshot from these people, they objectify people, and then based on this objectification, they interact with a snapshot of these people. So they do not understand people's emotions, and that's why they consistently ignore the people with whom they have friendly relationships. It goes without saying that these strategies taken by the narcissists are the result of their childhood traumatic experiences. Most of the narcissists have experienced tremendous relationship with the parents. They have been in toxic relationship with the parents. Most of the parents have been punitive, demanding, controlling, and strict in relation to their children. That's why that a narcissist has suffered from traumatic experiences, and that's why that his core identity has been shattered. In order to get over the feeling of inferiority, shame, lack of self-confidence, they try to use fantasy. They create fantasies in which they are the center of it, they are the core of it. The pillar of this fantasy is nothing but the pure power. These people are addicted to the sense of power. For this reason, in most cases, they imagine themselves as the people who are considering themselves as the ones who have been entitled with the full scale power over others. They consider others as the people who should take their orders and should be submissive to their wants, to unreasonable wants. And you can easily guess what can be the consequences, what can be the outcomes or repercussions of having a relationship with such toxic people. These toxic people do not mind the emotions of the partners. What seems to be the top priority, what seems to be the preliminary need for these people is called narcissistic fuel. By ignoring, by devaluing, by discarding, and by interrogating the sense of cognition of the partners, they gain the fuel to function. These people are like junkies. It means that they are somehow uh, addicted to the sense of power. So when they lose power, they suffer from narcissistic rage. This rage is destructive, and it can shatter their whole identity. It can sabotage and devastate their whole being, and they are forced to reconstruct this shattered core by constant effort. What is this constant effort? This constant effort is find other victims. They communicate with other victims. They have some principles for identifying their victims, and one of the most significant characteristic for this identification can be the codependency of the partners. Those who suffer from codependency, those who are empathic, those who suffer from the cases of low self-esteem are very delicious praise that fall victim to the narcissist, and they in fact establish a kind of imagination, a fantasy, a shared fantasy with their victim, in which they are the truly controller, and the victim is nothing but the one who should abide by the orders that are directed toward that person. So most cases, in most cases, suffer from those who suffer from the relationship with the narcissist are experiencing a total control that is distracting and shattering every aspect of their identity. Thanks a million for listening to this video.